Yo, what up? What up? What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome black. Welcome black. Jazz, what up? Sydney, Dakota, Secret Petals, what up? Viva la Diva, what's going on? Welcome back. Welcome to a Monday night. We are back in the building. I see y'all sending much love. Ellis Clementine, 13 Eep, Kia Michelle, Comedian Dennis, what up, son? Official Bun, what up? Showing love as usual. Yes, you do. Teasia, what's going on? We back. Delfino, what's going on? Jay Ryder in the building. What up, fam? We're back, man. Appreciate y'all coming back out on a Monday night, as we always do on Jawa. Ramirez, what's up, son? I see you. Sarkar Music, what up? Peace. Blue Lily, I see you. We are back. Delfino, I see you. What's up? Thank you for is that a peppermint? Thank you. My brother ain't that funky. Holt Shannon, what's going on, Shannon? How you doing? How's the catwalk at this time? Ooh, my teeth look so bright and shiny. My teeth are glowing right now. Thank you, Doc Austin. Loyalty over everything. What's up? Johnson, what up? Oh, my guest is here. That's why I said, you know what I said? Let me. Anytime. Ange, what's going on? Peace. More cowbell. That's funny. More cowbell is a funny name. Anjelah, what up, girl?
Hey, how are you?
How you doing? I'm cool. How you been?
I am doing well. I am sitting on my balcony right now because it's the quietest place in my house. So.
Hey, hey, you're fortunate to have not only a balcony, but have the weather to accommodate, because if I went outside right now, my nipples would be like this.
Where are you?
The temperature. I'm in New York. I'm in Brooklyn still. I'm home.
Oh, good for you. Is my internet okay? Am I breaking up at all?
No, you're perfect. You are perfect.
Okay.
You're perfect.
Because you're freezing up a little bit, and I wasn't sure if that was me or you.
No, let me check to see if I got all my bars and whatnot, so I'm not sure. Let me know if it keeps freezing.
Okay.
What? Nah, I'm just playing. Yo, well, real quick, let me give you a proper introduction for the one or two people that are ignorant on here and don't know any better. My guest tonight, first of all, welcome to another episode of Futhamuckin Protocol Live Monday night on IG. It's your man, Dean Edwards, where we do this every Monday night. I have some of my favorite comedians, some of my favorite people on here to motivate and inspire y'all and give y'all some ideas of what comedians go through, both during this pandemic and just what helps make us tick and how we, have come through our journeys to become the great people and great performers that we are. My guest tonight, I guarantee, is my only comedian that I have ever had on here that actually appeared on the field at the Super Bowl and was performing. Also, you recognize her amazing talents. Not only probably one of the first actual stand-up comics to have viral success with amazing characters, the nail salon lady, and of course Bon Kiki, Mad TV. You know from films such as Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel. What was the family joint? Our Family Wedding. Our Family Wedding. The opening act, which you can actually catch. A friend of ours, Steve Byrne, directed. The opening act actually is streaming now, so you can guess that right now. And multiple comedy specials. My friend and yours, Anjelah Johnson Reyes.
Hello, everyone.
So first of all, how have you been coping with I'm sorry, someone corrected me. Bon Qui, not Kiki, so I apologize.
Right. I didn't want to correct you, but I'm glad somebody else did.
Yes, yes. So I apologize, y'all, for that oversight. Yeah, how have you been handling the last? We now are in what month number 9?
You know, this whole year has definitely had its seasons for me, and
Hmm.
the twist for me of 2020 is that I decided to sell my house and move, and I did
Mm,
not expect that ever. Um,
right.
like earlier in the year in the summertime, if you would have told me even just this summer that I would be moving, I'd be like, no, I'm not. So it's like the biggest plot twist for me. But it's one of those things where I'm just like saying yes to an adventure with God, because so many things are shaking and shifting in the whole entire world. So why wouldn't things shake and shift within my little sphere as well? You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. And you know what? And ever since I met you, Angela, we've known each other probably what 13, 14 years. We first met during the Golden Trailer Awards.
Yes.
The the Golden Trailer Awards. For those of you who don't know, the same way movies have award shows like the Oscars and the Golden Globes. There's also an award show for the trailers of those movies, and they used to always hire comics to come and keep the flow of the show going. And that was when I first met Angela. I think we were doing that at the Orpheum out in L.A. And I bring that up because from day one, you always had a strong faith in God and Creator, and but it was never off-putting.
Yeah.
We all know someone, whether they're Christian, Muslim, whatever, they're full of their religion and pushing it on you. You
Right, right.
never pushed it on people, but you walk with your faith, which I always appreciated. So I appreciate you saying, as much as you hear people complain about this year, I applaud you for just submitting to it and saying, hey, thy will be done.
For real. Whether it's for you, it's God, it's Jesus, it's Allah, it's universe, it's whoever it is. It's that powerful thing of surrendering your
Right,
own will and desires to the flow of universe,
right,
the flow of God, the flow of whatever.
right.
Surrendering all of that, it's a hard thing to do, but it's like,
Hmm.
imagine being in the ocean, like, and you don't fight the current that's taking you out, because you're just going to wear
Right,
yourself out. You let it ride, you roll with the flow, and then when the
right.
current takes you to a certain place, then you're able to get back to shore. But if you just fight that current and you're fighting the flow, you're going to exhaust yourself, and
Right.
just ride the wave with the journey, you know?
Right.
Easier
Right.
said than
Yeah.
done.
Right. No, and not only will you exhaust yourself, but eventually you'll drown. You'll sink
Right.
and drown.
That's right. That's right.
So metaphorically, that's a great metaphor that hopefully someone can hear, and that can help carry them through the rest of this global pandemic. How many were you booked up this year? Because you're one of the you're a comic that you're not just doing clubs, you're doing theaters. You have a gigantic following, so I'd imagine your road work was heavily affected due to the pandemic. Yeah.
Well, what's crazy is I had actually scheduled some time off for myself.
Oh,
um
dig it.
I was taking some time to, honestly, I mean, I've been on the road for 13, 14 years, and
Hmm.
it takes the toll. It takes a toll on your
Yeah.
mind, body, spirit, all of it. Your priorities start getting messed up. Things start to suffer, like your
Hmm.
relationships, marriage,
Yeah.
um,
Right.
all the things. Like, people would ask me all the time, like, how do you balance it all? How do you balance work and travel and marriage and life? How do you balance it? And I just be like, I don't know. I just do. I just keep going. And then turns out
Right.
I was not balancing it very well at all.
Mm.
And I actually needed to take a break and to really um, disconnect from the machine that I had built and reconnect with
Mm.
myself, with my creator. Um, and really do some of that self-work. So I had already planned to take some time off the road to do that work for myself, on myself. And then this pandemic happened. So for me, I didn't really have dates that I needed to cancel or anything. The one date that
nice.
I just flew home from Texas. It was in February, and maybe like the week later is when everything shut down.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yep.
So at least you were able to get that last check, though.
Right. Thank you, deposit.
So take me back, or take us back, Anjelah. Where you're originally from San Jose, yeah?
Yes, from the Bay Area.
From the Bay Area.
Yes.
Popping collars.
Yeah,
So were you like a performer like all through school? Were you always, a ham?
No. Yes and no. Like I grew up, I was super shy. And then all of a sudden I broke out of my shell and I did like Pop Warner cheerleading, and I did high school cheerleading and started doing all the competitions, competitive all-star cheerleading and stuff. And that's kind of where I found my performance, but I wasn't like, I wanted to be an actor. I just didn't know how to be an actor.
Right.
And
right.
I didn't like grow up going to like drama club or anything like that. But I knew like I wanted to do, I just didn't know how.
Right.
And it wasn't really until I moved to LA that I actually started chasing my dream of acting,
Really? So from cheerleading all through, junior high and high school, were you pursuing, because I think many entertainers, and especially comics, coming up, when we came up versus now, like now there are more avenues. If you're a young cat and you want to pursue comedy, you can watch this, right? You can watch us on here. You can watch a million clips on YouTube and kind of get an idea of how to find your tribe, so to say. I always say finding your tribe. When you were coming up, was cheerleading sort of your outlet?
Yeah, definitely. Cheerleading was my creative outlet for sure. And what's funny though is when I moved to LA and I was trying to be an actress, I would audition for like cheerleading parts, like for all the cheerleading movies I auditioned for, and any commercial.
You should have been Gabrielle Union.
Yeah, all of that. I auditioned for all of those, and I never booked not one. And I was like, oh, but I'm a real cheerleader. Not one.
Right.
Not one. They were like, I don't believe it. I can't see you as a cheerleader. I don't see it. Sorry. No. But yeah, cheerleading was my thing. And then when I did I cheered the Oakland Raiders, even that was not my thing. Like I did competitive cheerleading with like stunts, throw me in the air and I'll flip around and all that kind of stuff. And Oakland Raiders was more like dance and pretty and like shake your palms and cleavage and like, luxurious hair and nails and all the things. And I was very much a tomboy. So it was not really my jam. But the only reason why I auditioned for the Oakland Raiders is because I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to move to Hollywood and pursue my dreams of being an actress, but I needed a sign. I was like, I need a sign in my life. So I went and I auditioned for the Oakland Raiders, and I said, if I make the squad, I will do it for 1 year, and then I will move to Hollywood and pursue my dreams to be an actress. And so I went to Oakland, tried out for the squad. There was like over 700 girls at this open call audition in Oakland. Long story short, I ended up making the squad. We went to the Super Bowl that year. We went to Hawaii for a photo shoot for our calendar. Like, it was the most amazing year to pick to be a cheerleader for the Oakland Raiders. And I came home from the Super Bowl, packed up my room, and I drove to LA the very next weekend. And I've been here ever since. It's been like 18 years, something like that.
Wow.
And I started from the ground up. I started as an extra.
Really?
That was my first gig. I was an extra on Friends.
Oh, that's for, oh, you know it's funny. So they didn't have any people of color in the main group, but they had us in the background eventually.
Oh, we drank coffee real good. People of color, we could drink coffee in Central Park like nobody's business. You want to see me walk from the table to the coffee bar? Ooh, watch with excellence. We do that with excellence.
Did you ever like on the episodes, can people watch episodes now and point you out?
Yes, and I've
Oh,
had people screenshot me and like tag me on Twitter or whatever.
that's
But
funny.
one of my favorite like full circle moments, I was filming a movie in Alabama, and I was at the hotel, and I went to the gym at the hotel, so I'm on the treadmill, and you know they have the TV screens on the treadmill, and I'm watching Friends. And so I'm watching Friends, and I see myself walk by in the background as I'm on the treadmill at my hotel, that I'm there in Alabama to film a movie, like as an actual actress, that like it's to say words and stuff like that. And it was such a full circle moment for me that was like so special. That, and even the movie that I was doing, I wasn't like the star of the movie and like, you know, this A-list celebrity or anything like that. Like I think I had probably 4 lines in the whole movie, but it was so special for me and I appreciated it. And it was a good reminder of how I started, where I came from, and how hard I worked and how far I had come. So it was very, very cool.
Right. And you know what's funny with because you know most acting coaches say there are no small roles, only small actors, right?
Yeah.
But when you watch anything that you did when you first started, it does make you smile, especially like you said, you know, 18 years after moving to LA, you found your success, and success is all relative, right? Like success is paying your bills with your creativity, with your art, right? Or touring, or getting past the comedy store, what have you, and you find your levels of success. But those things to me are always humbling, because when you see those first opportunities, you know, when you were hired for Friends, that was a big deal to you. I'd imagine just as big as going to the Super Bowl, because you're like, I'm on a set.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
You know.
And I feel like somebody told me this one time, and it stuck with me. And for everybody listening right now, this is very powerful. Somebody once told me, define success before you pursue it. Because otherwise, you're just going to be chasing everything, chasing air. Like you don't even know what success is if you don't define it for yourself. Because success for you is different than success for me, than it is for Kevin Hart, than it is for whoever. So you have to define what success looks like for you, so you know what you're chasing after, and you're not just chasing after the wind. You know what I mean? And then you redefine it again. You redefine it in the next season, and you reach that goal, and then you redefine it for the next season. And it's something that really stuck with me, and it helps when you can get so caught up in the comparison game, comparing yourself to someone else's story and someone else's journey. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's I've always said to people, especially being a New Yorker that goes out to LA often, people, you know, especially like New Yorkers get jaded towards LA, right? Like if I go to LA right now, I can find 20 cats. They're like, man, I can't stand LA. I'm like, LA is dope when you're busy, right? Like when you're busy, LA is awesome, because you're too busy to stop and realize that you're not you know, achieving whatever you're hoping for, right? But when you're idle, I think we all know other people that are working. Like I just was talking about Hugh Moore. Hugh is writing on a show right now, and Ian Edwards writing on a show. And if I'm out in LA for pilot season, as long as I'm auditioning, I'm good. But if
Right.
I hit like 3 or 4 days where nothing's happening, I'm like, Hugh's working on something, Kev's
Mm-hmm.
working on something, and you see everybody
Mm-hmm.
busy, then the idle time makes it easier for you to start doubting, and your insecurities come out.
And you know what's crazy about that is the idle time there's purpose in the idle time. And we miss the purpose. We miss out on the purpose because we do that comparison game when the idle time is our rest time. It's our
Right.
Rejuvenate time. It's our creative time. It's our whatever, our planning time.
Mm-hmm.
Idle days have purpose in them. It's when we start using that energy to compare, oh, should I be doing this? I should be doing that. I remember one time I saw, I was on Instagram. This is what it is. It's Instagram. It's social media is what it is. Because if you turn social media off on your idle days, trust me, you don't care what nobody else is doing because you don't know what they're doing. You're like, oh, we're all just at home being lazy.
We should all try it every so often, right?
Oh my God. There's one time I was scrolling and I saw a friend of mine who was directing an episode of a TV show. And then I scroll some more. I see another friend of mine directing an episode of a different TV show. And I was like, oh, should I be trying to direct? Is that what we're supposed to be doing? We're supposed to become a director. That means you've made it if you become okay, so how do I direct? Do I need to shadow someone so I can learn how to direct and start spinning my wheels in that? And then I had to pause for a second. I was like, wait, I don't want to be a director.
Right.
Why am I doing that? I don't even care.
Right.
I don't want to be a director. It's just because I saw other people doing it that I was like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, they're doing it. That's what I'm supposed to do. No.
Right.
Do you, and do you well.
Exactly.
Do your goals, do your dreams, do your purpose, do your calling, do it. Lights on fire in here. It's not directing. Then no, you're not supposed to be director. You're supposed to be whatever is on fire in here.
Right. Yeah. We all. It's easy. That's I guess one of the detriments of social media is it's easy to sit there and wind up comparing yourself to others instead of celebrating. Oh, my friend is directing. That's something they've been dreaming about all of their lives. And they worked. They worked it. They took the necessary steps to get there.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not trying to take those steps because I don't want to be there. So.
Right. Right. So you moved to LA. You did a season with the Oakland Raiders, and it just so happened that the sign that you were looking for was y'all wound up going to the Super Bowl, which is an amazing sign.
Right. There was no doubt at that point. It was like, okay, I hear you loud and clear. I'm going.
Right. You're like, okay, thank you. Was your family supportive? Was your family always real supportive?
No. My sister, yes. My sister is always very supportive. I feel like at the time it just felt like not support from my dad or my mom. It just felt like my dad was very unsupportive and didn't believe in me and didn't think I could do anything with my life, didn't think I could be someone great. It felt like that at the time. Now, as an adult, looking back and having gone to therapy, I see my dad just wanted to protect me, and he was fearful of his daughter moving to Hollywood to become an actress when she has no experience. Because when I told my dad I'm going to move to Hollywood and be an actress, he was like, why are you going to do that? You don't know anything. Nobody's going to hire you. That's what he told me.
Mm-hmm.
So I took him at face value for what he was saying. That's how he feels about me. But really, I feel like if your kid came to you and has never acted a day in her life and is like, I'm going to move to Hollywood and be an actress, you'd probably be like, what?
Right.
Who? How? Do you know how to be an actress? Do you know what do you do? A resume? Do you have one of those? So I get it. I feel like my dad was just trying to protect me in his own way. But the longest answer to your question is no, there wasn't a lot of support out the gate, but I mean, there definitely is now. My dad is the first to ask me for free tickets for a show, so.
Booyah!
And all over the country too, because like he has family everywhere. He'll be in Arizona all of a sudden, Utah, wherever he's at, and he's like, "Hey, Uncle so and so wants to come to the show." I'm like, "Uncle who?" I don't know who this uncle is. Yeah.
Uncles you didn't even realize you had.
No, I have no idea who these people are, and he'll bring like.
You didn't even know your dad was in town. You're like, when did you get to Arizona?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's funny. And you want 7 tickets? Okay, sure. My dad.
So once you're in LA, what because when you became viral, right? And again, I say that because a lot comics definitely weren't like you and Russell, right? You and Russell Peters were really the earliest forms of viral comics that actually found success from YouTube, from going viral. But prior to that, it was Chocolate Rain. You know, it was Charlie, that really hurt. You know,
Yeah.
you know the kid in the back seat. Yeah, Charlie, right?
Yeah.
So, was it intentional? Did you record yourself and it was intentional, or did you just dumped it online?
I didn't even do it. I went.
Someone else did.
To the Ice House in Pasadena, and there was a company that was there, and they were filming comedians, and they paid me $25 to do 10 minutes, and that was it. And then they uploaded it to YouTube, so people are like, oh my god, she made millions off that video. I made not one penny off that video.
You made $25.
I made $25. Just a flat fee is what I got for that video.
Right.
$25.
Right, buyout.
Yep. I got me some gas and some top ramen is what I got for that video. But no, I have made not $1. But I'm so grateful for it because that's what blew up my career. So I didn't make money off the video, but I got people coming to my show to see me because they saw the video. So, I mean, if I sit and think about it, then I could be real pissed. Like, damn it, that was a lot of money I missed out on. Somebody made a lot of money off of me and my material and my performance and my image and my likeness. Somebody's making all this money off of me. But I was this young, hungry kid who signed away for $25. I signed a contract saying you can own it and have it. And so they did, and they made some money.
And when you did it, when would you say you realized that there was a shift? You know what? Like when did you realize it had blown up?
Oh, this was in the day of MySpace. Okay.
You're right.
And
in Tom.
And I had my top 8. My top 8 friends. All of a sudden, my MySpace page started blowing up with friend requests, messages, thousands and thousands a day. I was getting from people all over the world. And people were like, hey, when are you coming to perform in Australia, in the Philippines, in fill in the blank? When are you coming to perform here? Because they all saw that nail salon video.
Wow.
And at the time, I had 12 minutes of material. That's it. I had 12 minutes of material. And I had people saying, when are you coming to perform in Sydney, Australia? And I'm like, will y'all fly me out there for 12 minutes? Like, I don't know how this works. And it was crazy. And I started like replying to people. And at this point, I didn't know how to be famous. I didn't know that you don't have to respond to every single message that someone sends. I would be sitting there for hours responding to, like, stressed out, like, thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the support. And then after a while, I got hip to the copy paste. And so I would just copy paste the same message into every message that I got. And then this one girl replied to me and she was like, is this a robot or something? Because you already said this to me before. And I was like, oh, sorry. I don't know how to be famous. I'm trying my best. And that's when I started getting messages from production companies and network executives were sending their assistants to come and find me on MySpace to message me.
Oh, wow.
So I would get a message like, hey, I'm the assistant to so-and-so at, NBC, CW, whatever.
Right.
They want to meet with you because they saw this nail salon video. And I remember I took a meeting with like everybody in this town, every production company, every network executive. I took a meeting with all these people because they saw this nail salon video, and I had these thousands of messages in my inbox just going crazy. Right. And I remember being on the phone with my sister and telling her what was going on. And I was like, okay, this is either a little phase that I'm going through, or this is the beginning of the rest of my life. And that's exactly what it was. It was the jumping off point. It's what set me off. And here I am today talking to you on the Futhamuckin podcast.
I like that. That's why I like you. That's called station identification right there. So how long before Mad TV? Because you said you had enough heat where the execs started reaching out to you by way of their assistants. When did Mad TV reach out from what? Because what year did you move to LA?
2003.
So you there 2003. What year did you make the video?
2006, and it came live on YouTube in January of 2007.
Okay, so between that and Mad TV, how much time passes?
I tell you, January 2007, this video comes on this brand new thing called YouTube. And there's, from January to February, there's 4 million views on this video. And that was like the first like viral thing that was happening. And February to March, I start getting all the messages from all the network executives, and I start meeting with everybody. February, March. By the end of April, May, somewhere in there, I ended up getting a new agent, a new manager, because they all saw this video. By May, I had auditioned for Mad TV and booked Mad TV. Nice. Through that summer, I ended up writing like 45 minutes of material because people were requesting me at comedy clubs. So by the end of 2007, my life had completely changed. From January, I had nothing to my name. I had no agent. I had no opportunities. I was on unemployment. My unemployment checks had run out. I had no money. I had no income. I was getting ready to go home because I couldn't pay my bills. And the only reason why I stayed is because I had my sister who would send me money to pay my rent. She would send me gift certificates to the grocery store so that I could go buy groceries to eat.
Big up, sis.
It was that, and it was this feeling in my gut, in my spirit, this intuition, the Holy Spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It was God telling me, I know it looks bad, but I'm not done yet. I'm not done with you yet. And so I had that feeling in my gut that God was not done with me yet in Hollywood. And then thank God my sister would send me money to pay my rent so I could stay in Hollywood. And that was January of 2007. To the end of the year of 2007, I was on this hit show, Mad TV. I was touring the country as a stand-up comedian. And my life had completely changed in that 1 year. 2007 is definitely the year that changed my life.
Yeah. Won't he do it? God is good all the time. And all the time. Now that's beautiful. That's honestly, I mean, because you hear stories about people. Anytime I hear someone say, I'm gonna try this for I'm gonna give it 2 years. I always think you can't put a time limit on your dream, because God could mean for it to happen 2 years and 3 days later. And here you shut down at 2 years, so you just, like you said earlier, you gotta sort of submit to it and go with the flow. And that's That's awesome to hear
Yeah.
that from January 2007 to December was so drastically such an arc
Yeah.
and change in your life. And I like that you put the work in, because you said people were reaching out saying, hey, you want to come to Australia or wherever, but you only had 12 minutes. A lot of people would be like, well, I'm gonna go in and figure it out as I go. But you put pen to paper and said, here, I got to work on my act. I gotta
Hmm.
build the set, and
Yeah.
that's what you did. You know.
Yeah. It took a lot of work, but it was that going with the flow. It was like, this is where my life is right now, and this is what's required of me right now, and
Right.
you go with it.
Right, right. How do you know what I did? I meant to ask that. When did you finally wind up on stage as a stand-up, and how did you wind up on stage?
I had like a love-hate relationship with stand-up comedy when I first started, because I didn't want to be a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I always say that comedy found me, like comedy chased me down, because I thought I was going to be this dramatic actress. Like, I was like, I'm going to play a rape victim on Law & Order SVU. Like, that is my dream. And still,
I love how specific that was.
Oh, very, very much so. Like, I'm waiting for my scene with Detective Olivia Benson. Like, it will happen one day. It has not yet. It hasn't even come close. I've had 2 meetings with the casting director, and he still doesn't book me, but it's fine. It's totally fine. My time is coming. I was at a church, and every Tuesday night they would do this creative arts night where they would have like dancing classes, acting classes, singing, like whatever your art was. Tuesday night they had a class for it. So I was in the acting class, and there was a woman who was teaching a stand-up joke writing class, and she saw me in the acting class, and we would do like improv games, and I would be funny in the improv games. And so she's like, do you want to come take my stand-up joke writing class? And I was like, oh, is it free? And she was like, yeah. So I was like, I guess so. I mean, I guess it's free. I might as well. Why not? Get in where you fit in. Free education, I'll take it.
Right.
So one of the first jokes I wrote in her class was that nail salon bit that ended up blowing up my spot.
Wow.
And so after that class, people would like hit me up and be like, hey, do you want to do like my Tuesday night at, wherever? You want to do my Thursday night at this cafe or whatever it was? Right. I would randomly hear from people that wanted me to do their show, but I wasn't really calling people to get on a show, because I was like, oh no, I'm an actress. Like, I'm just doing stand-up for fun, but I'm an actress. Thank you, though.
Right. I'm waiting for Law & Order to call me.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I can't. What day is your show? I might get an audition that day. Hold on. So I was, like, fighting it, because I didn't want to be a stand-up. I wanted to be an actress. And I remember the day it changed, and everything shifted. I get a message on MySpace, and this person was like, hey, will you come perform at our Mormon holiday party? And I was like, sure.
Did you say Mormon holiday party?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a Mormon holiday party. And I was
Sounds
like,
exciting.
Sure, I would do it. I mean, but the only thing is I'm not Mormon, though. And they're like, oh, no. You don't have to be Mormon. You just have to do a clean set. And I was like, oh, okay. I could do a clean set. That's fine. So I go to this big, huge Mormon party in Orange County. And I do my set. And they were like, oh, it's a comedy competition. The winner of this competition will win a cash prize. And I tied for first place. And I won $600.
Oh.
That was the most money I had ever made in my entire life in like one sitting. Like, it wasn't even like a couple days worth of work. It was like I just told some jokes for like 10 minutes and they gave me $600.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna be a comedian. And that's when it all changed for me. When I won $600, I was like, I'm gonna try this comedy thing a little bit, actually.
Yeah, you're like, I don't need to be an actor.
Yeah, exactly. What are y'all paying me? Hollywood? Nothing. Okay, I'm gonna go to Mormon parties now.
Did the was the first place prize, since you tied, was the first place prize 1,200 and they split it, that
Yes,
you each got 600?
that's right.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you hold up? This two questions, right? The other person that tied with you, are they still a comic that you see out and about?
Um, I think it's this person that I'm thinking of, who I know we met there and we became friends after, but I can't remember if he's the one who tied with me. But he's an actor now. I see him on TV a lot, but I
Oh,
don't
that's
see him
funny.
doing stand-up anymore. So he took my dream, is what happened.
That's like y'all flip flops. That's hilarious. And secondly, the comic that taught the class, is that someone that you're still in contact with? And if not, did you at least, have you ever seen them since your success?
Yes, we are not in contact anymore. I'm very grateful for all that she taught me in the class.
Okay.
But no, we're not in contact anymore.
Okay. No, I was just because she tells everyone, I got her son.
Maybe.
Even if
That's
you
none of my
don't
business.
talk about her, she talks about you all the time.
It's funny.
So you hit Mad TV. You're now touring, and your first comedy special, you did a Comedy Central Presents.
Yeah, I did. No, my first televised stand-up was Premium Blend on Comedy Central.
Premium Blend, okay.
And that was a 10-minute set.
Yeah.
And on my episode, I filmed the same day as a young up-and-coming comic named Amy Schumer. You might have heard of her. She kind of fell
I've
off. She's
seen
not really
her.
doing anything anymore. But
No.
yeah, we were on the same episode. And that was my very first televised episode of stand-up comedy. And then after that, I did my first hour special with Comedy Central, and that was called That's How We Do It. And that was in 2009.
Okay. And then you were on your way, because at that point, 2 years have passed. Your characters have blown up. Mad TV's a great look. You had 4 million views in the first month, so by this point, there are many millions more. Are you doing clubs, or when did you graduate to theaters?
I did clubs for like the first couple years, and then
Okay.
started moving into theaters. And it was still like you find trial and error which cities you can move into a theater and which cities you're like, oh, just kidding, what's your name again? They don't know you here. I remember there's this one time I went from this one weekend, sold out 8 shows. Boom, boom, sold out 8 shows. Boom, boom, boom. Had to add. We started with 6, had to add. Now we're 7. Now we're 8. Oh my God, I'm so famous. Everybody loves me. The very next weekend, I go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I sold 17 tickets.
Ooh.
So listen.
Body blow.
Oh, for sure. It was humbling, for sure.
Yeah.
But it was like, you learn. You're not for everybody, one, but then you learn your markets. You learn where you do well in, where you are strong in, where you need to build, where you need to come back more, and you got to do 10 more radio stations than you did last time because people don't know you here. And then for me, like every time I would go to Houston, I didn't even have to do a radio station interview because tickets were sold by the time I got there. For some reason, Houston loved me. And then I go to Pittsburgh and they're like, what's your name? We don't. And what do you talk about? We don't like that. We don't like that. Thanks, though.
Well, I remember years ago hearing Chris Rock. I think he was doing an interview. He said, I want to get famous enough to where I don't have to do morning radio. Right? And it was so real, because for everybody out there that's watching, understand that when we go to cities and we're headlining, like Anjelah just said, you go to Houston, a strong following out there. You don't even have to do media, right? Because the tickets have sold. As soon as people find out you're coming, they bought up the tickets. Whereas you go to a city like Pittsburgh, and now you have to go to you have to do like 5 or 6 radio stations where it'd be one thing if you were doing what you think is your demographic, right? But the club is saying, well, you know what, Anjelah, we have you on the country radio station at 7:30 a.m. and then you're gonna do top 40 at 8, and then right across the hallway they have the morning drive, the smooth jazz, and you're like, that's not my audience.
Bruh.
I'll do it.
Bruh. That's right. It's like, okay, if you think that'll help, sure, I'm game. I'll do it. I can't tell you how many times they were like, okay, the next station is a sports talk radio. And I'm like, sports talk radio? What? Like my primary demographic is women. Right. They're not really perusing sports talk radio.
Right.
But they're like, yeah, but you were a cheerleader for the Raiders.
Right.
So it was that. And then, like, I don't even speak Spanish, but they would always have me on a Spanish radio station. And I'd be like, you guys, I don't speak Spanish. And they'd be like, no, it's fine. Like, he'll ask you in English and then he'll translate. And I'm like, that's going to work? Are you sure?
Right. And then you get there and then looking at you like, you don't speak them.
Right. They're like, are you sure? Yeah, positive. I'm pretty sure I'm positive.
Like,
yeah.
Roll with it.
The worst with morning radio is going from West Coast to East Coast. Because you're in New York, so it's probably not the same. Like, so coming from LA, taking a flight to wherever, New York, right?
Yeah.
And then you land like 10 o'clock. By the time you get your luggage, get in your car, check into your hotel, order some room service because you're starved from flying the whole time. By the time you get in bed, it's like 1 a.m. And then you have a 6 a.m. pickup for press. And your body is on West Coast time, so you're like, you're not even tired yet. By the time you fall asleep, it's time to wake up. Right. Oh, those were the worsty worst. Like,
yeah.
And then too, not like you don't have to put makeup on.
No.
You don't have to put makeup on. Like, I have to wake up early enough to put a face on. Like, you get to wake up and brush your teeth and go with the manager of the club. I have to wake up, shower, put face on, do my hair. Like, oh, it's a lot.
Yeah. Did you ever, I'm not going to say the name, I'm sure you probably did. There was a big radio show in the Midwest that if you went to it, the club would actually say to you, oh yeah, you can't wear any nothing scented because the guys at the radio get really angry about scents. Now keep in mind, I don't wear cologne, right? I have oil that I wear, and and it must have been on like a hoodie I was wearing that morning. So when I get there, they're like, yeah, did you put on something? I said, nah, I bathed. You know what I mean? I don't stink. You all put out the memo that we can't wear anything, so I didn't, but it might be in this hoodie, and sorry, I'm not funky, you know.
No, I didn't do them. I have had some awful radio interviews though.
Really?
But no.
Was one of the worst, because that's people don't realize how and not to compare it to tarring, putting down roofing in 100-degree weather, but there are challenges. And what would you say, what was like a really bad radio interview you had to deal with?
So I would always get nervous doing radio because I was like, okay, if it's like crowd work, I would get nervous doing crowd work. I was like, let me just stick to the jokes that I wrote that I know are funny instead of like taking a risk and just start talking to somebody in the crowd and it may or may not be funny. So like with radio, sometimes it felt like that. Like you never know what they're going to ask you. Hopefully I'm funny with whatever they ask me. And so they would be like, okay, give us like 3 like lead-ins that you can like do to like one of your bits, that you can make one of your bits conversational. And like I'd be like, okay, ask me about my husband, ask me about how I don't speak Spanish, and ask me whatever. And then I knew I could like pop off some jokes. I did this one radio station in Florida, and I'm sitting there with the guys, and they hadn't even started my interview yet. They're doing their like news break, right? In their news break, they haven't even introduced me yet. One of the radio guys asked me about what the guy said. Like it was something about, I don't know, a baseball score or something, right? And he asked me my opinion. I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't have anything to say because I was waiting for my interview. Like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds good. Like it was something like that. They go to commercial and he goes, all right, thanks for coming. You're dismissed.
Wow.
And I was like,
Florida.
What? And they're like, yeah, she's not going to be funny. Get her out of here. And I was like,
wow.
Oh, I was waiting my turn. That you were talking about baseball, so I didn't know. God. And I was dismissed. I was so embarrassed.
What was this in the look, I was speculating because I'm nosy. Was it at the Clear Channel where they had all those stations in one building?
It was these 2 older white dudes that were like legends in the area, in like Miami, Fort Lauderdale area.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I can't remember their names, but they were not nice to me.
No, and you know what? The reason I know who you're talking about is because they were like, because I do impressions, I know going into a lot of those radio shows, they're going to do the hacky. For me, if I'm doing it, let me just do the impressions. Don't hit me with, hey, so give us some Denzel. Wind up, monkey. You know, let me just do what I do. And I remember hearing a story about they put one particular comic on the spot, and he wasn't rolling with it, and they pretty much dismissed him. But then he left. But you know, you're in the car and the station is still on, and they started talking greasy about him, and so he went back, and it turned into this whole. I'll let you know later on who it is.
Please
but
do.
It just but when I got there, they then presented me. They were like, yeah, do you know this guy? And I said, yeah. And they were like, yeah. And we asked him to do impressions, and in my mind, I'm like, did you ask him, or did you just sort of assume he's a jukebox?
Yeah,
There's a
or
way
did
to
you
do
just
it.
in the middle of your interview go, so Denzel, how's the weather?
Right. I love sports, huh? But that's a problem with a lot of with radio. I always find I prefer just taking control if I can, and just going. You know, I learned that from like Tracy just goes and doesn't give people a chance to get a word in edgewise. And then once he starts going, they kind of just clear out of the way, and then he's done and he can leave. Versus, so tell us about. So you don't speak any Spanish whatsoever, Anjelah? Why is there an H on the end of your name?
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
radio can be fun, but it can also it can stink at times. So you're headlining clubs. Do the movie offers, because I actually remember, because I have children. I remember when I saw you in the Squeakquel, and listen, anytime you see your people A, working, but B, in a big movie like that, I'm sitting in the dark in the movie theater like, yes, you know, because that's a win. It's a win. So did you, at that point, were you auditioning, or were they did you have enough heat where people were reaching out to you?
No, I auditioned for that one. Um, I remember being very surprised that I booked it. And a lot of
Why were you
times,
surprised?
well, I guess because I'm always surprised when I book
Okay. That's honest.
I'm always like, really? Oh, okay, yeah. I will be there. See you on set. Okay, thanks. Thanks for giving me a shot.
Right.
I feel like I book most of my roles by being funny and charming in the room. Like,
in the room.
With the casting director, with the director, with the producer.
Yeah.
And I've gotten many of jobs by having that kind of like chemistry in the room with people, yeah. I feel like. And there's been many of times where the director, producer, whoever tells me, oh, hey, my son's a big fan of yours. My daughter's a big fan of yours. And their kids are watching me. And that's why they know of me. So
that's dope.
That has been something that's been very cool. Like with the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel, very grateful because I know for a fact I booked a movie from that because the director of this movie, his wife was watching it and saw me and was like, she would be good for the movie you're working on now. And that's how I booked that movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that movie was?
That was called The Resurrection of Gavin Stone.
Okay. Oh, that's dope though. Work leads to more work. So that's
you never know
beautiful.
Who's watching. You never know
right.
who's watching you, who's watching you, who's listening to you. Even on this Instagram Live right now, like I see there's currently 136 people watching. I don't know who those people are. I can see the few people that are commenting right here, but I don't know who's watching and listening and who is taking this information in and being like, wow, this really inspired me. Like, and they use that to unlock something within them and go for their dreams. And like, we have no idea the lives that we're impacting or the lives that we're not even aware that we could be like shutting down by a comment that we made that somebody takes to heart the wrong. Like, you have no idea. You never know who's listening, who's watching, and who's watching you going like, oh my God, he does such a great this impression, whatever. I need him for this. Oh my God, she does the voice of blah, blah, blah. I need her for this. Like, you just never know. Eyes are always on you all the time. When you're in a grocery store, even if you're not trying to be in the entertainment industry, you're in the grocery store, you're in Target, you're walking down an aisle, you don't know the words that you say, how they impact people, the kindness that you show someone, how that impacts people, like your generosity that you show someone impacts people. Like, everybody, there's people always watching and listening, and it's up to you to just be the best version of yourself at all times. And there's grace for that because we're not always our best selves. I'm not always my best self, and there's grace for that.
And none of us are, but we all have a choice of whether to offer someone something positive or something negative, and the positive goes a lot further. I've said on here numerous times that I met Bernie Mac when I first started. And I'm backstage at one of his concerts, and he didn't owe me any conversation, but he was very, very nice and very encouraging to me, being a young upstart comic. And then fast forward a decade later, he's in my office at Saturday Night Live, and I got to thank him. I got to get cool with him, and I got to say, "Hey, man, you don't remember this, but I appreciate you being nice to me." And so watching the level of success that Bernie Mac achieved at that point made me say, okay, henceforth, anytime I interact with new comics coming up, even if I don't feel like being bothered, I'll do my best to encourage them. I might not be the best version of myself at that particular time, but I can say, hey man, keep doing your thing, because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt me, and hopefully it helps them.
Right. Exactly. See, that's why you're good.
Well,
that's why I like you.
He does what he can. What Because obviously everyone on here knows that not only are you beautiful on the inside, but you're also beautiful on the exterior. And
Thank
was
you.
that a challenge as a comic coming up for a woman being an attractive woman in the comedy world?
I remember one of my first headlining gigs in Miami at the Improv in the old
Coconut,
Miami Improv.
yeah, and was it Coconut Grove?
Yes, coconut
Yeah,
something, cocoa something. I don't know. Yeah,
yeah, where you
Coconut Grove.
walked out of the green room right onto the stage.
Bruh, while I was on stage, somebody went to my green room and rifled through my stuff and stole my stuff while I was on
Boy,
stage. That's Coconut Grove right there. Okay, that's Dade County.
wait, how did they get in there if it was literally right behind you?
Because you have to walk past the green room door to go to the bathroom, and
You're
there was no
right.
security or nothing, so they just walk right in and stole my
Wow,
stuff.
wow.
Anyway, so it was one of my very first time headlining. The first show I go on stage, and I have my hair down pretty, I have my lipstick on, I have this cute little like top that's kind of like, midriff showing, whatever. And I get off stage and I'm talking to the manager at the time, who's Gideon. I don't know if you remember Gideon.
Gideon, I remember Gideon.
I love Gideon. And
Yeah, Gideon was cool.
I was like, I don't know what it is. Like, I can't get them on my side. Like, throughout my whole set, I just couldn't get them on my side.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, the next show, I want you to go out there, take your lipstick off, pull your hair back in a ponytail, and put your hoodie back on, and zip up your hoodie. And I was like, okay. So I went out and did the show like that, and it was night and day.
Wow.
It was night and day because I wasn't a distraction anymore.
Right.
I wasn't threatening anymore. I was just a tomboy girl telling funny jokes.
Right.
And it was like night and day, and that stuck with me. And since then, I be my ponytail for the rest of my life. And since then, I've been all right, never again.
Look, your husband's watching right now. That's why you always wear it?
He's like, okay, babe, you won. You can take your ponytail out.
But you know what? That's because that's not the first. The reason I asked that question is because I know that people bring their prejudices and preconceived notions, and I've heard from female comics specifically. They're like, yeah, you know what? Anytime I go on, I'm aware that I don't want to look too nice because guys in the audience that are there with their girlfriends are now looking at me, and now their girlfriend's sitting there mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not trying to distract them. I'm just doing my job, and I don't want to look like a bum,
Yep.
So
That's it.
that's wow. Well, I'm glad you found a way. How many years have you been married now?
9. June.
Oh wow.
9.
Okay, I didn't realize it was that long. Did y'all meet? He's industry, yeah. He's a musician.
He's in music, and
Okay.
he does some acting stuff too, but
Okay.
music is his thing.
Is his passion.
Yeah.
And I imagine because he's in the industry, y'all are super supportive of one another.
Yeah, it's very cool to be in the industry, but not the same industry. Like, we're not both
Yeah.
stand-up comics.
You're not competing for bits.
No. We say something.
He
funny.
says something funny, babe. You gonna use that?
Right. Are you or me? Who's gonna use it? Me or you?
He's like, you tell the joke, I'll write a song about it.
Yeah. Well, we have worked together because he wrote and produced the album for Bonquiqui, my character that I did.
Oh, that's dope.
And then we went on tour with that album, and so that was us collaborating together and working together on that.
That's dope.
So it's great to be able to work together and apart. Like, we're not like business partners, like all day, every day of our life.
Right.
Project based.
Being that you're married, and how you said that there are sacrifices that you wind up making for your art. Do you look at it saying, do you miss starting a family? Is that something you're looking forward to doing? Do you have a timeline on? Look, I feel like an aunt or uncle now. I'm like, how long you gonna? I mean, what are you doing?
What's funny is, I feel like in my mind, because my husband and I have always said that we did not want kids, but now that I'm getting older, I start to think about it more. And it's weird because I treat the idea of having kids as if I'm like 22. I'm like, oh my God, I have plenty of time. Like, I don't know, maybe when I'm older. Maybe I'll have kids when I'm older. Bro, I'm 38. Like, I don't got much time left to decide. So, I don't know.
That's real.
It's definitely something I think about as I'm getting older, because I'm like, yo, my clock is ticking. And so right now, like, I still don't want kids, but I also don't want to miss out on the opportunity. But to me, that's not a good enough reason to have kids, because I'm afraid of missing out. Because I got FOMO. Having kids because I have FOMO, that's dumb.
Right.
So
and that's honest.
You know, like, I need to.
Well, that's the mature approach. A lot of people don't take the mature approach. I want a baby.
Until then, this is my child. Just
okay.
He can curl up in a bag and come with me everywhere.
Beautiful. Have you done any online shows during this pandemic?
No.
Do you plan to at all?
No.
Yeah, no.
It would have to be like a solid check.
Right.
But I don't plan on it.
No, and someone just said they suck. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I haven't done any. I did one thing on Ali Sadiq did something on Instagram live back in March or April that actually went so well for me, and I said that was it. I said it went well, so I'm done.
Yeah.
And I think Nowhere Comedy Club, I was gonna do something, but you know what? It just doesn't feel. There's a disconnect. It doesn't feel like what we're used to. I had about 6 weeks of shows between September and mid-October, and I was like, yes, I miss the audience. Even if I couldn't actually meet and greet and interact, I still was standing up live versus sitting at my dining room table and trying to tell jokes like, what's going on in the world, huh? You know.
What's crazy with that is, like, just on Zoom meetings alone, like, I always try to crack a joke, like, in a meeting and whatnot, and so, like, I'll be in a Zoom meeting, but, like, the timing is off, and then people didn't quite hear the joke. They're like, wait, what was that? And I'm like, oh, it's fine. It was just a sarcastic, it's fine.
Right.
It's just the internet is not right for a live comedy show. For me, I didn't want to do
I agree. And that's the best way to put it. For you, for me, it's not the preferred. I know some people they're finding their rhythm, and I'm like, kudos, man. But All Things Comedy did something. I did something in LA at the end of September, and they had it's actually in a studio, and they have giant monitors, so it felt like a stand-up show.
Yeah.
That was I actually enjoyed that, but aside from that, nah, I'm good.
I did see some comics posting that. That looked pretty cool. That
was you know what it felt like, doing stand up in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Felt like Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus were watching you from their bedroom in their pajamas. You know, and that felt good. Somebody said the outside. Yeah, even I've seen the stand up shows outdoors, and again, depending on how it's run and who's running it, they can be good, but there's something wonderful about having walls that contain the noise and the laughter and the acoustics versus doing something. I did something in Central Park, which was fun. I did that one was fun, but then another, it was mad traffic, and you could hear cars and motorcycles. I was like,
all the honking.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done.
Just the honking
and see.
Sirens, always sirens.
Yeah. So to each their own. I'm a fan.
Doing an outdoor show. I haven't done one yet, but I wouldn't mind doing it, like, for the experience. You know. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it. I just haven't yet.
Right. You have time. I don't think this is.
I know, unfortunately.
going away anytime soon. You
No.
know, do you have any projects that before you leave? Do you have any projects that people can look out for that you
We
already have in the can?
My husband and I have a podcast with our good friend Brandon, and it's called Nights at the Round Table. And it's basically our deconstruction and reconstruction of our faith, love, life, all that kind of stuff. We both come from the Christian background, and we both are at a place in our journeys where we're asking questions that we never asked before, because it was like, oh, you don't ask that, you just go along with it. And we're like, actually, I don't know if I subscribe to this anymore, let's talk about it. And so that's called Nights at the Round Table. It's not necessarily a comedy podcast, but we just talk about life and real things.
Right.
So yeah, that's
and people can the people watching, they can listen to that on all podcast platforms.
Yep. So we have that on Spotify, all the podcasts, YouTube, everywhere. And then I do every other Friday I do Ghost Stories with Anjelah. And we go live on my Facebook, on my YouTube, and we started on Instagram here, and it just wasn't allowing me to like share to Facebook and all the other places. So we switched platforms. And that's Ghost Stories with Anjelah. Do you have a ghost story?
No.
Okay, I was gonna tell you, come be on my show. But I have a special.
Maybe I will now.
Okay, go make one up.
Okay.
No. I have a special guest each episode that tells me, and it's usually like a comic or one of my actor friends, and they'll tell me a ghost story that they have had in their life. Oh, wow. And then I take calls from fans, and we go live, and fans tell me their ghost stories, and we just share it with everybody. Oh, wow. And it's so fun because I love like the creepy haunted stuff.
Meanwhile, the ghosts in your life are behind you, like getting some screen time.
Yeah.
I don't know why I made the ghosts float like they
like it's an emoji.
Right. Why are my hands up like this? That's odd. And again, did you know what? Because Steve Byrne is a stand-up, right? But he's also a director. And when I saw the comics that were in his film, did he call you? Did he make you audition?
No.
Okay.
No, he
all
was
right.
just
no,
like,
I
hey,
would.
You want to come be in my movie? And I was like,
okay.
Yeah, I do. And then he kind of boasted my part out, but it's fine.
Oh. Damn you, Steve.
He called me to tell me, though. He's like, hey, before you see it, I want you to know.
Right. It's like, listen. I love what you did in the movie, but for time we had to cut some things for time.
Yeah.
But I love it.
That's not the first time one of my scenes been on a chopping block. So
right.
Unfortunately, I'm used to it.
Right. Right. Well, listen, Anjelah, thank you. I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Thank your husband for giving us an hour of your time, because I know this is family time for a lot of people, and I know it's late for a lot of people. So I appreciate you hanging out with us. Much love as you stay safe out there. Everybody that if you enjoyed, make sure you tell a friend. We do this every Monday. Next Monday we have my man Sebastian Maniscalco will be on here with me on the Futhamuckin Protocol Live on IG next Monday, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And aside from that, hey man, it's your man Dean Edwards, Anjelah Johnson Reyes. Thank you for hanging out with me, but I'll hit you after I hang up to let you know who that was.
I'll be waiting
in Miami.
for that text. Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Just such a fan of yours. You're so talented, insanely talented. And thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, no doubt, of course, man. Thank you for coming out, and thank your assistant for I didn't know how to say it. Is it Jackie? Okay, because I was like, I grew up on 227, so I was like, is it Jackie?
No, it's Jackie.
Jackie. Well, thank Jackie. I'll reach out to her and thank her again, but thank her for me And thank you, sis. And thank y'all. It's your man, Dean Edwards. We'll see y'all next week. All love. Two fingers. Stay up. Stay safe. Easy.
Bye.
Bye.